Okay, good morning, all. Today I'm going to talk more about what is SAP, right? What is SAP? What exactly SAP? So SAP is a software, right? The name of the software also SAP, and the product also SAP, right? The brand name also SAP and product also SAP. So there is a abbreviation. SAP means System Applications and Products in Data Processing. This is the abbreviation. Anyone ask in the interview what is the abbreviation of SAP, you can just say about the same systems, application, and products in data processing. This is a complete right abbreviation. Okay. Then what is ERP, right? Definitely you should know about ERP, why ERP is used in a company, right? ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning, right? So where we have to plan as a business owner to run a business, definitely they have to plans, they have to manage all the plans, how to execute every process and managing report across different business functional units. They have to keep a report ready for every activity. If they are managing maintenance activity, if they are managing production activity, they do sales, they purchase material, they get inventory of the products, or they balance every here and there finance activity, and even HR management, HCM, human capital management, all the things will come into picture. That's why there's a picture says there are many things you come across with the business, and where SAP will play a vital role to handle all the business process to track. Okay, so how exactly the different modules are integrated in SAP, and how it will benefit the organization to go with SAP Material Management Module implementation. Okay, so we'll be getting into the understanding of the material management process. So, what is procurement, right? What is called procurement? Procurement means procuring the material what we are looking for in the production process, right? In the sense you are not able to manage to produce internally with a man or machine material, like whatever you use and do it, that you are not able to do it, then you have to go and purchase the material who can supply that product, right? So we will be managing procurement activity in a way that there is no shortage of products or material, where the customer is looking for the final goods, right? For that we are going to purchase material from supplier and we manage the business process. And then what is inventory management? So inventory management is like you purchase a lot of materials, like direct procurement management you're doing, or maybe indirect procurement, or you go with any special procurement types, or you work on the services. There are many things will be there, right? So some of the administrative products will be there, like you are not going to sell it, you're going to consume internally, right? For your on a daily basis, right? So then you have to manage inventory in a right way, where you can see the picture itself. There are a lot of products will be placed in a maybe in a plant level, right? Or maybe store location, where you can see it may be managed with the support of existing inventory management as a sub module. Okay, so or else you have to go with the SAP S/4HANA EWM, extended warehouse management. The warehouse is bigger, and which you cannot manage through the IM sub module. Then you go with EWM. So in our training, or in our complete this knowledge transfer, what I'm doing, I'll be talking more about inventory management, which is under in the material management module only, like as a sub module. So we'll be explaining about the inventory, what which you do, like goods receipt activity, goods issued activity, and transfer posting from plant to plant, store location to store location, like different inventory management activity we'll be showing you all. Then about the invoice verification. So once you manage to handle all the procurement activity, right? You will have a purchase order which you procured from a supplier as an order number. Then you received an inventory of this quantity with this much of value, and invoice copy will be there. So supplier will send the invoice copy to clear the invoice what they have supplied, maybe including of freight cost, or any charges, extra additional taxes, right? All the things will be there in the invoice that you will be going to clear the, like you are going to invoice verification activity happens by comparing the purchase order information and GR activity, GR posting them, right? And then the invoice what you received have received, that will be verified, and then it will be posted. That's called invoice verification steps. Then about the consumption based planning, like how you are consuming the material for the production lines, right? How you are managing everyday basis, like you are consuming the product, like how you can plan accordingly to like purchase some of the components from outside, right? So some of the C materials, ABC materials, like high value, medium value, and low value. So you have to balance some of the activity automatically to purchase also. Okay, in some situation, so where the requisition will generate automatically through the MRP run, material requirement planning run will be there. From that, you balance your consumption, in the sense you will be forecasting how much you have consumed today and how much you want in a future, right? Near future, you want to get a material from the supplier, or how to produce internally. If it is a production activity happens internally, then definitely there will be a planned order will be created. From the planned order, production order will be generated, right? In case of requirement you are going to procure from outside, then always during MRP run you will be getting a purchase requisition automatically generated. There is no manual creation of purchase requisition when you are going with consumption based planning, or maybe MRP based requisition you are going to create. Okay, so I'll be getting into that when I get into SAP screen. Okay, so you will be able to relate what I'm talking about, so easily you can understand the activity in the system. Then about the EDA, like it's a data interchange between from a business side to a supplier, right? You are talking about interactions, like from a creation of the purchase order, how exactly it reaches to a supplier in what media, right? So EDA will come into picture. There will be IDOC interface also, IDOC concept also in some cases, where they want completely what you're creating today in SAP should reach to their portal, what they're referring. Supplier will have their own portal. So how to integrate with SAP to non-SAP and SAP to SAP. In such cases, how this EDI will play a vital role. So you should know that part also along with your functional knowledge on the module wise. Okay, that is little advanced one I can say, where you learn everything from the starting to a tailor like consumption planning, all in invoice verification, inventory management, procurement activity, everything you learn, then you will be getting into the EDI concept. Okay, then about the overall information system, like what exactly the reports are there, how you can track all the activity which you performed in the system. It's all about the information, right? So it's more about the report tracking. In the sense you manage to create a lot of material master in the system, supplier master, info record, source list, lot of master that you're creating, and even the transaction also on the daily basis by the user level. So how you track every activity you perform today, you can go and just run the existing standard report, and from that you will get the output. Okay, and in more, if you see, there are like a lot of tables are in the backend, so the data will get stored in the table, and you can manage to have a new report development also in the real time. From that new report development, what are the fields need to be added in the initial screen, and how the output you wanted to see, and you can extract into Excel sheet. Okay, it's a simple process you can follow. We are not able to develop a new reports or new transactions in a learning system with the functional knowledge, but for that we need a support of ABAPer who will be working on the development activities. Okay, that we will pitch in the next discussion, maybe not today. So I'll be giving a rough idea about metal management module and the process which you have to know. And if any questions are there, you can put up questions at the end, or maybe in between you can message in the like you can put this chat. Okay, you can update over there, I can look into it. Okay, then about the projects, so this is a common questions asked by everyone. Hey Prashun, how many projects you managed? What are the projects you have handled in your experience of this, right? They generally ask, what are the projects are there? So definitely the projects, if you see, I'll be getting into the first project, like maybe the understanding of implementation. I did not, I was not into a implementation directly in the initial stage. So don't put your like think like I want to get into implementation initially. I joined an organization where I started with the data migration initially. Then I got into support project. Then I moved into a development projects. Then I got into rollouts. Then I got into implementation after 6 years of experience only, 5 or 6 years experience. Immediately it's difficult for anyone to get into a implementation project. So you can always go with the support project or rollout project. Then what is exactly implementation project? It's all about setting up the entire modules what business is looking for, right? From the scratch. Like they'll be using their legacy means any other ERP system, right? So they will be using SAP ECC also, SAP ERP or SAP ECC 6.0 also they are using today. And now SAP come up with the new product which is SAP S/4HANA, that also called as a SAP implementation project. Or they are moving from any other ERP tool or local ERP which they are using today, but business is expanding and they are not able to handle their today data what they are managing. It's not very great tool to continue in a longer time. Then they will get into SAP implementation project. Okay, so that time you should know what are the process, what are the phases, what are the uh, documentation to be prepared, how do you get into the system and manage all these configurations, testing, and moving the data from one system to other system. All this you will be learning very clearly. Okay. And what about rollouts? Rollout is about, example, imagine the business which running in India as a like larger business, and they have other in an other continent or other country they are managing other process also, like in Australia or in UAE or in UK, like other countries also they are managing their business. Expansion happened. Then firstly they will implement in India. Okay, I want this application to be implemented, so they will start in India. So everything is good, so working fine, right? Then only they start expanding to other locations, like other country requirements. Because suddenly, if they work on every country-wise project implementation, there will be a high chance of risky situation where they are not able to cope up with the implementation project, right? So that's the reason we will work on the rollout whenever it's required. And once implementation is done, definitely we'll be copying the major information what we have done for the Indian uh, country, like India country requirement for a particular client. From that, we will copy and we'll work on other requirements. And some situation like everything is implemented, all the countries are implemented SAP for their business, like particular client. Now they are opening another plant, or maybe under their vertical what they're running to the business, they'll have another 2 3 company codes maybe specific to a country, right? So that's called rolling out, right? So extension of their business, expansion. Like even you consider 2 plants you're opening in a location like in Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad or maybe other city or other country specific to Germany, or maybe in USA, UK, wherever you find a city where you are going to implement or maybe expanding your business units, then you have to go with the rollout project concept. Okay. Then about the upgradation. Upgradation is about all about upgrading from a lower previous software to a current version. Okay, imagine you're upgrading to a enhancement package from 7 to 8 in ECC 6.0. Like different packages will be there, so you can upgrade, right? Like imagine last 3 years back, S/4HANA 1809 or S/4HANA 1909, like whatever software is introduced in the year 2019 or maybe 2021, 22, like these years SAP has introduced multiple like versions released in the market. Maybe moving from on-premise to cloud also will be considered as upgrading, or moving from a 2021 version to 2022 version, like which is maybe latest one version. The customer is ready to move with a few patches, means upgrading few features which is going to help business to handle their requirements smoothly. Instead of just going with the existing software, they can upgrade wherever they want, right? It's called upgradation. It's a newer version for enhanced functionality and performance. If they want something more performance to be there, then definitely every year SAP is releasing a different versions, like how you can see in a brand iPhone, where you can see multiple uh, like versions are there in the market. So it's your choice which one you want. And sometimes you take a newer version, you find a little difficulty in the initial stage, but once you reach out to the customer service center and they will assist you how to use it effectively, right? The same way, so services will be given in a newer version what SAP is given, and you can definitely follow, like you can use the functionality what SAP has given in the latest version. Okay. And migration is like similar, I can say. In the sense, you see some of the migration project which is not completely implementation, where you see migrating the current systems directly into a HANA, right? There is no implementation much. You are taking data from a system to and loading into the another system. Okay, there's no much changes in the functionality and all, just copying and just moving into another system. It's called migration project. Okay, and about the support project, it's more into providing ongoing technical support to resolve the issues. Okay, uh, imagine once application is live, production support is given for 2 months. In the sense, hypercare issues are will be there when after the implementation of the project. So once hypercare issues support is finished, like 1 month or 2 months from the implementation partner, they may continue the contract with the same client for AMC, or maybe annual maintenance contract will be given to a same implementation partner, maybe to support, or they may do a transition knowledge to another support organization services. They will support for all the modules. Okay, what they will do, they will just refer whatever implementation is done. They will go through all the documentation, and there will be knowledge transfer will be given to a service company who can support for a year or maybe 2 years. That the agreement will be there. So in that support time, wherever the users or maybe super users or maybe power users from a business side will come up and say, I have this issue, right, need to be solved. It may be L1 issue, L2 issue, L3 issue, different level of issues and different priority of issues, right? Maybe sometimes it's urgency where delivery is created, and the flight is like onboarding of the goods is yet to happen, and suddenly the issue is happening. Okay, not able to print the delivery challan or not able to issue the goods to the like delivery created today, and it will be lost for the company. It's called a critical. Immediately someone should go and fix the issue and generate the delivery copy, and then they can issue the goods to the customer. Like that, there are different issues will come into picture: low priority, medium priority, high priority, and critical issues. Okay, which will have a proper SLA, service level agreement, for each and every issues to be solved. Okay, it's called support project. Then once you understand all the project level knowledge, like what is what, so we'll be not jumping into directly into all this project level knowledge sharing. We'll be starting with all the configuration setup, understanding of the master data, what are the master data need to be maintained, everything we have to go through systematically, which will help everyone to understand. Even someone is very fresh to SAP, he or she never gone through SAP screen, so it's the right time you can grasp every piece, a bit and piece of knowledge what I'm sharing here. Okay, so you find it's already I experienced this, you can brush up your knowledge and you just continue for another at least 2-3 hours. I'll be talking more about the knowledge like this only, and I'll be getting into SAP screen. Once I get into SAP screen, you also can follow the same steps what I'm following, and you can practice and you can demonstrate to us, right? So that's a way you can do the things very quickly, and you can talk to client and manage all the implementation requirement, support requirement, upgradation, or whatever project you get in future, right? You can manage really well. Okay, now I'll talk to system landscape. What is system landscape? It's something new terminology, right? You would have not heard much about system landscape. Like someone is into a support project, they may know what is system landscape. Someone is into a SAP world, like they would have seen other customers are managing multiple requirements, you would have seen such system landscape. If not, what is system landscape? System landscape has, like, it is like different systems are maintained to handle the entire development activities. Like directly you cannot go and do the changes in the production system. I'll take one simple example. You all will be using Amazon, Flipkart, all this e-commerce platform, right? So do you get any directly SAP system where you can input all these things and you order? No, right? SAP will be there in their business side. You will get a one login pad, like you have a you get your user ID password will be there. You log in with your user ID password and you get it into the portal, right? With your all profile, your cart will be there. You can add all the product, and you can issue confirm the product, and you can pay, and you get the material on the same day or maybe other day, right? How system will understand the delivery date? Example, something you get on the same day, like you're a premium member, then you'll get a product like immediately, right? They will set the action for every user ID level, right? So they know how to manage all that activity. So somewhere in the backend, someone is managing your user ID, right? So it's not like you are going to do and all the changes. Like I have got premium, okay, let me go and do the settings. No, there is a customer support team, and team will be supporting with this user ID who paid this much of amount as a premium. Let's give a high priority to deliver the product to this particular customer. Like that, they will manage in the backend. So just one example, how system will understand this stock is available. Maybe the supplier is not immediately ready to supply the product, then they will give a delivery date late. If something immediately available, then they have their in their own warehouse will be there, and then definitely they will issue from a particular location. Like example, I'm in a Bangalore location in this city, and it's in my pin code is 560085. Like, okay, this is a pin code, they have to deliver. Then they'll say which is the nearest center where they can issue the product and deliver to my location. The same way, how the company, the any product or maybe any business, they are giving some application to be handled, right? It's a directly customer interface, right? So there will be backend system, production system. It will integrate with the application and in their inventory management system, right? So it will reflect automatically from the SAP system to the customer application which you are using. So directly, any changes need to be done also cannot be done in the production system. That's not right also. So if you find something changes need to be done, then it will go from a development system. First you do the changes, whatever you want to do it, and then it will go to our testing. One more round, okay, one system to another round. There we do the integration testing. In the sense, in the development, we can do only module level testing. Example, today I create a purchase group, and other side someone is creating sales organization or sales distribution channel, something they do. And in the production planning side, they will create some on the plant related configuration, something they are doing in every module level. So as a consultant, we work on the testing part in the first development system. Configuration is done, changes is done, then we'll do the testing of unit testing. Means particular activity I test it as a functional consultant, functional consultant. Same way, other module also will do the testing one by one in the same system. Then the changes will move to a quality system. It's called testing system. Okay, here we can mention as a quality development and quality. It's a testing environment where we do the integration testing between every modules. Okay, example, you have to create a sale order. From that sale order, you'll be generating a requisition, purchase requisition to procure some material. From purchase requisition, you'll be converting into a purchase order, right? And GR and invoice and payment, right? There, SD, sales and distribution, material management, then FI, right? Then any department will come into picture, right? In between, maybe production planning will look into the management of all the like final goods to be produced and issued to the production sale order, right? So there will be integration between each and a module, every module. So any changes you're doing with a particular module level, you should do an end-to-end testing also once, whether it's working or not. It's impacting other area or other module, which may create a problem once it is go live, right? It will go to a production. So once testing is done, then it will be moving into the production system. Okay, so production system, then there will be using all the transaction, whatever they want to run on the day-to-day basis, they run to create a master data or create a transaction or checking the report, all that. So limited access will be there for the user. They cannot manage to handle everything how we are doing as a consultant. So that's the reason we will have a system landscape before the implementation project. In the sense, firstly, we will be checking with the basis team. SAP Basis, BASIS Basis team will take care of all this installations, implementation time. They will have a multiple. They will arrange multiple landscapes for you. You just ask for the user ID password and log into different system, development, quality, and production. Only you will have a display. Initially, implementation time, so you'll get only development and quality system, and later you will get a production system also. Okay, and if you are getting into S4HANA, then you will get a Fury application also. Means Fury URL will be there along with the SAP GUI access. Okay, I'll show that. Maybe tomorrow I'll be showing about SAP screen, and I'll be walk through the every activity what you can see in the front end and back end. All that I'll be showing, and I'll be creating a couple of data in the system, and I'll demonstrate. Then once you are all familiar with the subject of what is what in the material management, then I'll be getting into the consulting level training. Okay, And okay, so before I get into next topic, so any questions are there? So you can unmute your mic and you can ask questions. So I can definitely go back and check the slide if you're looking for. Example, I started from a uh, introduction part, then I moved into material management module level knowledge sharing, and I talk about different phases or sub modules. How do you manage all this? Okay, and then I got into projects. The different projects I explained you all. So I'm just summarizing all. Okay, so anyone has any questions, please just open up here and you can put up, no issues. Okay, or you'd like to discuss more into.
Hi, Prashun. I have
Yeah,
one doubt.
yeah, go ahead, just go ahead with the questions.
Can you little brief about purchase and procurement, crash procurement, these details?
Can you speak a little louder and clear about the question, so that would be better for me to understand exactly.
Uh, can you explain briefly about purchase and procurement and crash procurement difference, these details?
There's a voice break is there. Purchase procurement,
And
then
crash procurement,
scrap procurement,
crash, CRAS, crash procurement.
cross procurement.
Yes.
Okay, see, in the procurement and purchasing or cross procurement, all this you're talking, right? Word or business terminology. It depends on the organization to organization. Okay, so imagine I am going to purchase something from a supplier. Okay, so it's directly you are going to purchase it. Okay, you know the supplier and you raise the order and you get it done, right? It's about purchasing activity, right? So when it comes to sourcing, procurement, it has a multiple steps to be followed, right? In the procurement, you see, right, you have to raise a couple of requests for quotation, right? Unless you're not very clear about uh, the supplier is ready or not, or like who is the supplier to supply this product, you have to raise a request for quotation. So that level I'll come to you, because you see, I just explained you about the just introduction part. So once I get into the level of data and level of information, like in the next slide, so there you I talk about data in SAP, where you can talk about configuration data, metal master data, then transaction, right? So in this level I will be talking more about your purchasing, procurement, cross procurement, brand specific purchase organization, cross company code or company code specific purchase organization. So, and central procurement activity, creating a contract with the reference to supplier, then referring that contract to creating a purchase order. All that will come into picture when I speak about particular scenario. Okay. So, yeah, you can wait until I cover all that area. So, if you are not able to understand it during that time, I definitely give a more clarity about different procurement activity, different special procurement activity, different type of procurements comes into picture. So how much I know as per the business knowledge, I can definitely share with you all. In case you are talking about cross procurement, then you have to give a idea about what exactly you're talking about. Are you talking about cross procurement between the plant? Imagine you have a company code, there two plants are there, you are managing procurement activity, or you are talking about, so uh, from the subcontractor side, like you want to supply from other supplier to that subcontractor, right? You are ordering to other supplier, it will go to subcontractor. From that, they will produce the material and it will come to our premise, or it will directly go to a customer, right? There are a few scenarios are there which you can learn during the process.
Thank you. Thank you.
And whenever anyone like ask any question, right, make sure you clear about the questions. Okay, means speak a little louder and put up your questions in the right way. In case you are not able to put up in a right way, then we can discuss at the end also. Once I stop the session, then we'll have a general discussion for 10 minutes. Okay. So any questions? Okay, just make a note of it in case you want to add anything after the session. So I'll be stopping in another 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll follow the slides accordingly and I'll explain the process. Then if you have any questions from that, you can discuss. I'll be stopping at 7:50. So from that you can discuss. I can stop recording and then you can speak anything you want. Okay. Okay. Now imagine what are the datas in SAP. This is the first basic question by the interviewer. Okay, for a freshers, like you are from a non-SAP or you are from SAP end user level, or you're having some support knowledge, but you don't know much about what are the datas are there in SAP. So there are three datas are there. Okay, one is about configuration data. What is configuration data? Imagine SAP given a software, okay, where as a IT consultant, as a IT service company, will be implementing software to a customer as a business. Business means you take any simple example like Coca-Cola brand. Coca-Cola brand is a business where they're managing all the beverages and they are going to implement SAP. Then there is a company called Infosys. Infosys is going to implement SAP in their premise or for the business. Then definitely business will not knowing about what configuration need to be done, right? Right? They are very new to SAP. That time, as a consultant, we talk about what SAP given best practices has a standard existing options. Maybe you take as a material master, material types are there, industry sectors are there, numberages are there, department views are given, like fields are there, all standard. Okay, just open your screen and go to mm01 transaction code, just type and get into the screen. Then you can able to create a data of metal master, which is very standard. But business says, no, 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 this is not going to be sufficient for me. I want to see something, number range is like this. I want to see something, the views should be like this. I want to add more departments into particular metal master creation time. I want to change some of the fields to be a mandatory. I cannot go with this particular metal type. You just create new metal type, which will combination of two, three. And how do you manage this? Right? It's called changes you're going to do with the system with the configuration. So not required to change any system by doing the coding. Okay, coding is not required. Just you go into the system, type SPRO in the SAP screen, then you get into the SAP configuration backend in the backend and start doing it. So it's a consultant job. As a MM consultant, I focus more on the MM configuration. As a FICO will do the same, and SD or other module people will take up the configuration accordingly. Sales and distribution, production planning, project system, then logistics execution, quality management, extended warehouse management, then HCM, human capital management. Every particular module wise, if any business is looking for changes, then we work on the configuration changes. Okay, it is completely done by consultant. Okay, be clear whether it is done by user or consultant. Configuration is done by consultant. Keep in mind. Okay, what about the master data? See, master data is one-time master data you are going to create. You can change also whenever you want to change also. So generally, when you see in a metal master, there are, sorry, in middle management module, in MM module, even you see in SAP ECC or SAP S4HANA, the master data which you can see are same. Okay, maybe couple of field changes are done as per the like requirement what business is proposed, like multiple business are proposed and SAP given option like, okay, follow this application. Okay, metal master, supplier master, info records, source list, and then we service master also. If you are talking about service purchase order, then you have to manage to handle service master too. Okay, so these are the master data created by completely master data management team. Okay, who is authorized to create all this master data in the company side. They will take care of all these things in the production system. But during implementation time, we create our own. As a consultant, we will create all these things in the system, in the development system, and we test it as much as possible to see the scenarios. Okay, we cannot ask and go and ask user, hey, hey Sham, create this material master, supplier master, info record, source list, and give it to me. No, you as a consultant, we will be knowing about the same, right? Maybe you take some scenario what they're following in other system. So you take that data and you try to recreate all that master data, then you start testing it. Okay, so master data is a configuration is done by consultant, which is need to be stored in a development system side. You create, then you move from a development to quality to production. Like there is a one system to be followed. I will show in the SAP system. Once I get into SAP system, I'll be showing all this SPRO configuration. Okay. Master data is about one time you create, and then you can change whenever you want to change, but you have to take approval from a business side. Like as a user or maybe master data management team, always take approval while changing the metal master, service master, sorry, supplier master, info record, source list, service master, right? All this they are changing, right? They definitely take approval from a particular department, then they will change it. Then what is transactional data? So once you create this data, which is basically needed to create a daily basis transaction. Example, you want to create a purchase requisition or purchase order or a MyGo transaction, in the sense inventory you are going to do in the system. Then there are multiple transactions are involved in that, right? That's called transactional data. That's majorly you follow multiple transactions on daily basis. You have to test it. As a consultant, will test it all the scenario during the development time or maybe implementation time, right? So as a user in the production system, they cannot create randomly all this transaction, right? It's very sometime it will go to a supplier, it will go to customer, it will go to some other partner. So whenever you're creating any data, be clear that so not to create any test data in the production. Okay, transactional data can be tested in the quality or maybe in a development system, but in production it's a live data. User should know, have a knowledge how to create it, and as a consultant we will educate them how to manage this transaction data. Cutover data is just the data which you upload during the cutover phase. Cutover means where you find lot of data is in other ERP system, other legacy or SAP ECC. You are loading to a latest application what they're implementing, right? So that need to be cleaned and ready, then it need to be loaded into SAP system. So not required to create every data in a production system. You can load firstly initially, like stock you want to upload. You had a stock of something, this material stock is there, how to upload. You had a contract with a couple of suppliers, how to upload the contract numbers. You had a like business had a lot of materials to be loaded into SAP system. They cannot create and make all the entry in the SAP, right? It will take a year time, I think, to enter every manually and manage it. You have to load it. But in future, definitely they use their internal resource to create all the data everyday basis. So they will not ask us to upload this. But sometime when they see a lot of data need to be loaded into the system as a mass data, then as a consultant, we will have a team, like data migration team will be there. They will take care of this data migration job from a different system to a new system. Even after implementation, sometime what happens, previous data is not loaded into SAP. They missed out. They come back and ask, hey, Prashun, I want to upload this data through a tool. Can you help? So they will create a one request, change request or incident number. So from that, I will go and first test all the things, and then I will upload it to SAP production system. Okay. Any questions till now? Okay. So I'm stopping here. I'll be stop sharing my screen. So you can just ask questions here. Sorry, I lost some connections. I think I clicked on close button instead of clicking on escape. Okay. So any questions on the general which I discussed today, please open up and just put up questions more here. So it will help everyone to understand what is what. Then, so tomorrow session will be very good. And I'll be going through SAP screen and showing all the activity in the front end and the back end. And already Manaswita explained a lot of knowledge on the basics. So I request you all go through that basics of what she covered, and it will give a backup for you when you come here and just follow my sessions. So you can relate at least what you have learned. So this is the methodology we follow. Firstly, we will ask our team to share the basics of what is SAP So their skill of like presenting and sharing experience to other client will be easy, right? They get all the knowledge, and then I will come and manage to handle this kind of a training, and it will be clear for all the aspirants to learn as much as possible. Okay. Any general questions with the topic which I discussed today? Like it's a just a knowledge, right? So the next slide we will be adding more about the couple of pictures, right? Uh, to demonstrate more about the okay how the plant looks. The plant means what is total location, how does total location look, right? So what is material, right? We'll put a couple of pictures of material, and supplier means what, and info record and source list, right? We'll put a couple of pictures which we can demonstrate in a very easy way, so you can relate easily. By imagination, you can do imagination, so entering into a particular organization, right? So how you feel like you enter into an organization where inward goods are coming from a truck and loaded into a one particular area, then from that you'll be placing into a particular store location. From there they issue, they get into production line, production activity happens, then they will manage to check it, inspection line will be there, inspection will be happening, take it, and they move into a finished goods location. From that they will create a sale order to issue the goods. They to the sale order, then they pack it in a very nice way and put their label and barcode, serial number, batch number, or whatever it is. So then they supply it to a customer end, right? It's a complete process you can imagine, right? In an industry how it works, and then where exactly our module will come into pictures. Like what are the things you should know in module, right? So you cannot learn everything in a single stretch. Okay, so that's the reason I just wanted to cover this knowledge to you. Okay. Okay, you can stop recording. I'll be asking a couple of questions to all one by one. So it will be clear for me, like how much knowledge everyone got. Yeah, go ahead, Skanya. You
So,
can start recording, Manaswita. So I'll be talking. So discussion always happens. A general discussion happens without recording, because sometimes what happens in the recording and you are not able to ask questions, right? So we'll have a general discussion after the session. Okay,
sure.
please stop recording.
So